New York City has always had a special place in my heart. I don't know why, but from the first time I landed in New York roughly 20 years ago, I just felt at home. I've never quite been able to put my finger on it. Maybe it's the fast pace of life, or maybe it's the similarities between New Yorkers and us Dutch people that gives me that feeling of familiarity. I don't know, some places just do that to you. They immediately feel like home away from home. Well, for me, that is definitely New York City. In a different life, I would have considered moving there. Patty loves it almost as much as I do, but currently that's just not an option for us, so we just go and visit as often as we can. Now, being a creator, I obviously take a whole bunch of tech devices with me to stay connected, record some footage, and to do some work here and there. So I thought it'd be fun to take you guys with us, do a little vlog style video, weaving in all the tech I use on these trips, and we're gonna meet some friends and check out what tech they're currently using. You might actually see some familiar faces. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it once.
For us, the trip really starts at the airport, and being frequent travelers does come with its perks. It's a lot more comfortable to chill in the lounge and have a quiet bite to eat than to fight over empty seats in a crowded airport, especially when you're on an early flight and barely slept. There's power outlets everywhere and a decent Wi-Fi connection, so a perfect opportunity to whip out my 14-inch M3 Max MacBook Pro. This thing is an absolute beast, and to me, 14 inches is the perfect travel size. I'm filming this entire video on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Think of it as a high-quality drone camera on a stick, gimbal and everything. It's super small, lightweight, and because of the gimbal, the footage is super stable. But the best part is that it's so easy to operate that I can just hand it to Patty or some random person so they can film some stuff when I can't do it myself. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you know your way around the camera, I can definitely recommend this thing to anyone. Flying over to the US basically means adding 6 hours to our day, but United Airlines makes the flight so relaxing that we actually feel pretty refreshed when we land. On a day-to-day basis, I actually prefer using my AirPods Pro 2, but whenever we travel, and especially on flights, that's where I'll use my AirPods Max. Noise cancelling on these things is amazing, and they're super comfortable to wear, at least on my big head. Oh, and of course, I will use the flight to make sure everything is charged when we land. As soon as we arrive at the airport, I make sure my US eSIM is working. There's a bunch of different providers that offer this service. I've been using HolaFly these past couple of trips, not a sponsor, and I've been pretty happy with their service. Coverage is good, not too expensive, and it beats having to waste time at a mobile phone store to get a local SIM installed. Ordering an Uber would usually be the first order of business, but the taxi stand is actually pretty empty today, and they cost about the same, so we decided to just grab a cab. We tend to go to the same hotel every time we visit, we like it there, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? With that said, I'm a bit more nervous than usual because I have a little surprise in store for Patty. And a little bit for myself as well. She's a wonderful person, a fantastic mother, and I love her to pieces, so it's about time I made an honest woman out of her. Thankfully, she said yes, or this would have been a very awkward video. I had been thinking a lot about how and where to propose, but ultimately I decided to do it in the privacy of our hotel room in the city we both love. After all the mandatory phone calls to family, we decided to head out for some coffee. For some reason, I'd been seeing 787 coffee all over my Instagram feed, so I wanted to see what all the fuss is about. Of course, we went for an IVL, shout out to Kelly Wakasa, and I gotta say, it's pretty good coffee. And of course, drinking it out of their signature little bags just adds to the experience. After a quick shower and a change, we're on our way to meet our friends David and Maria. I met David in this little chat group of fellow tech YouTubers when we both first started our channels, and we've become pretty close friends over the years.
Hey, David! The man Patrick Rambles. I need to get on his workout regimen. His muscles are the size of my head.
It's always nice to meet in person when we have the chance, and the fact that Patty and Maria get along really well makes it even more enjoyable. We decided to meet for lunch at Peak Restaurant, which is located on the 101st floor of the Hudson Yards building. The food is great, but the views are absolutely spectacular. So Dave, what you wearing?
So this is a Galaxy Watch Ultra. I don't usually pick up like Android watches compared to Apple watches because Android watches, Patrick and I agreed, really kind of look like toys and they feel like toys. But this is the most impressed I've been by an Android watch. It's been good. I've been loving it. It's been great.
Be honest, did you just memorize the content brief?
Is there a trash What is it? Oh.
How does that happen?
Somebody taped your butt.
After saying goodbye to David and Maria, we head to B&H Photo. I don't even really need anything, but if you like tech and cameras, you can't go to New York without at least stopping by.
Well, I just managed to walk out of that store without buying anything, so I'm really, really proud of myself right now.
We have one more stop to make before we get ready for dinner, and that is Builda Bear. Yeah, you heard that right. My 9-year-old daughter, Elisa, found out about Builda Bear through YouTube. We don't have it where we live, and she's absolutely obsessed with this frog she saw in a video. So I promised I'd call her so she could put it together herself. She even built him a bedroom in her playroom at home in anticipation of his arrival. I have to admit, the whole process of putting together your own stuffed animal is adorable. You can give it a beating heart, name it, and it even gets a birth certificate. That way, every stuffy feels unique, and I can see why kids love it. I think the exhaustion from the extended day is starting to kick in, so we decide to chill a little bit in the hotel before heading out for an easy dinner. For dinner, we head over to Sylvia's in Harlem. Sylvia's is a true icon in New York and known for the delicious soul food. They only have a few items on the menu, but every item is cooked to perfection. Patty loves the ribs here, and I'm a sucker for the chicken and waffles, no matter what time of day it is. The delicious cornbread is a nice little bonus. Harlem has changed so much since I first came here 20 years ago. The boulevard is always lively, and there's a cozy atmosphere. After taking a little stroll, we decided to take an Uber back to the hotel. Normally, I'd try to compensate for the calories by getting my steps in, but tomorrow I'm meeting another YouTuber buddy of mine for a gym session, so that should cover it. All that walking through New York City can really do a number on the legs. Makes me wish I had my Fitking massage boots with me. And a big shout out to Fitking for sponsoring this video. The Fitking air compression recovering system consists of 2 full leg massage boots and a fully rechargeable controller unit, offering sequential compression for circulation improvement and faster recovery. I use it all the time after going to the gym, especially on leg day. The system puts pressure in all the right places, giving an instant sense to relief to my legs. If I had to describe the feeling, I guess I would compare it to a deep, powerful massage. The package is insanely small considering it holds 2 full sleeves and a controller unit, but what's really cool about this system is that you can completely customize the experience to your own preferences. You can choose the type of massage you want, sequence, circulation, or a combination. You can increase or decrease the amount of pressure, and you can either pick a zone to focus on, or you can have it massage the entire leg or foot. Once that's all set, all you have to do is set a time, anywhere between 15 and 60 minutes, sit back and enjoy. For me personally, the 15 minutes option hits the spot, maybe 30 on those heavy leg days. It's crazy how relaxed I feel when the boots come off, and I really do feel like it's helping me recover quicker. Plus, it's saving me quite a bit of cash on massage therapists. If you want to check these out for yourself, there will be links in the description below the video. The night's sleep really helped, and thankfully I don't feel that jet lagged. I did wake up super early, so I decided to let Patty sleep and walk to one of my favorite diners to get some work done. Gemini Diner is open 24/7 and has this really cozy, old-fashioned style to it. The food's okay, but the staff is so friendly that I love coming back here. I took my M4 iPad Pro with me to get some work done, and this is one of those rare occasions where I actually prefer the iPad over my MacBook Pro. The footprint is nice and compact, and reading on this thing is just a better experience in my opinion. Today, I'm heading down to Chelsea to meet my friend Shervin from Shervin Shares. I met him at CES in Vegas last year, and he's a really cool dude. If you're into tech and fitness, you need to check out his channel. Shervin lives in a place called the Content Closet. It's a tiny space shared by these 3 creators on the rise. It's your typical small New York apartment, but I gotta tell you, the vibe is amazing. Everyone in here is on a mission and grinding to grow as creators on YouTube and other platforms. Everything in this place holds some kind of connection to YouTube, including the actual freaking go-karts on the wall.
Okay, hold up, wait a minute, all good, just a week ago. All right. At my house, every weekend.
Anyway, Shervin and I are both big into fitness, so he was kind enough to invite me to his awesome gym at Chelsea Pierce Fitness. This place is absolutely massive. There is even a full-size indoor running track, I kid you not. It's push day today, so we're hitting chest, shoulders, and triceps. Now, another thing Shervin is known for is his infamous cold plunge and sauna parties. Shervin rents a second place that he uses as his office, and it has this pretty massive balcony/backyard kind of deal with a cold plunge and a sauna. I mean, where do you find something like that in New York City? This will be my first ever cold plunge, and I do not like cold water, so I'm not looking forward to this. But I can't deny I'm super curious, so I decided to take Shervin up on his offer and do a few rounds of cold plunge and sauna.
Oh my fucking. Let's go.
My feet are starting to really hurt.
Yeah?
Is that normal?
They'll definitely sting because it's like closing your blood vessels, but it's
Like,
normal.
everything's fine except my feet.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pussy.
The cold water is rough, but I have to admit it's actually pretty nice, especially if you alternate between the heat of the sauna and the cold plunge.
Hey, I noticed you're wearing a Whoop and an Apple Watch.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I'm always reviewing the Whoop, and it's just easy. I don't have to think about it. I just leave it on my arm, and it's just there. So I just kept wearing the Whoop.
But you still wear the Apple Watch too?
Well, the Apple Watch is like I need the Apple Watch. I can't live without it.
Thanks again, Shervin, for the awesome experience, and guys, do really check out his channel. Patty and I head down to Madison Square Park near the Flatiron Building to meet my friend Fernando Silva, who I'm sure a lot of you guys will know. He has his own channel, but his main gig these days is 9 to 5 Mac, where he does an amazing job. The Flatiron Building is one of my favorite buildings in New York. It's just a pity that it's always in scaffolding every time I visit. The Flatiron District is a relatively quiet and clean neighborhood. Patty loves it there because of all the dogs, and I love it because of all the burgers. Nando doesn't shy away from a bit of Shake Shack either, so that's where we decided to meet. After we catch up and eat our food, we have a quick stop to make at the Yeti store. OGs to the channel are probably familiar with my Yeti obsession. Unfortunately, you can't have the cups custom engraved in Europe. So I went in and ordered one yesterday, and it came out great. We decided to have a bit of a stroll to walk off some of that burger grease, and I just have to ask Nando a few questions about his beloved iPad Pro. I mean, I like the iPad Pro, but Fernando loves his iPad Pro.
I think I know people love to hate on iPad OS and the limitations that it has, and it's not the same as Mac OS, but I never thought that it was supposed to be like Mac OS. iPad OS is its own thing, and it can get you from point A to point B in a way more fun way.
Seriously, Apple should be paying this guy. Anyway, with these 2 days full of YouTube and tech done, Patty and I decide to just relax the rest of the week and enjoy the city. We try to eat reasonably healthy. That's how we discovered the acai bowls from Juice Generation, frickin' delicious, and we kept our cameras in the hotel room for the remainder of the week. Of course, I had to whip out the camera on our way back to Belgium because the United Lounge at Newark Airport is just too good not to capture. Definitely one of the nicest lounges we've seen. I did some work on my iPad while Patty relaxed before we got on our flight back to Belgium. Now, I told you earlier that the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is such a nice and small camera, but that does not mean it went unnoticed. The flight attendant thought she was going to be famous, while the nice lady behind us wanted to make sure that we weren't spying on her.
Are you spying on us? Are you spying on us?
It's facing my way.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
It will never not be awkward to film in public places, but I'm glad these awesome little cameras exist so we can share the experiences with you guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this little vlog. It's a bit of a departure from what I normally do on the channel, but it's been super fun putting it together. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.